practice was good. We have a back-to-back tomorrow and Thursday, so 4 or 5 guys didn't practice at all, but we had a good film session, and then the younger guys had a really good session, and they're playing some 3-on-3 now. But the energy's good every time you can win a game on the road against a great team. Everybody comes to the arena and they're feeling good, and you get a good day's work. So those games go a long way, not just in the standings.
Is the initial plan to play everyone regular minutes on both sides of this back-to-back?
Yeah, that's the initial plan, but obviously we'll adapt accordingly based on how guys are feeling the next day.
Hey, Coach, Kylan with Cron 4. Ooh.
Hi, Kylan. Go ahead.
Okay. On the basketball side of things, how do you try to keep your team with the same amount of intensity that we saw last night? It seems like it's been a little bit inconsistent. Is there anything that you learned as a player about like routines or anything that you've passed along to the guys, or any advice you've given them? Because I feel like that's a tough thing. You can't teach intensity in practice.
Yeah, I think one of my messages to the team today was that you can't rely on emotion for 82 games or 72 games. The season is too long and difficult to think that you can be, sky high emotionally every night. So where this team needs to make improvement is in the fundamentals and our habits. If you can rely on habits for a full season, you can't rely on emotion. And this team needs to get better with our habits, with our details, because there's going to be games where we're fired up and sky high, and then there's going to be games where we're exhausted. But we should be able to win regardless, based on how solid we are fundamentally and how often we give ourselves a chance to win a game based on that.
Steve, the Spurs, they have 8 players that have played 10 or more games, averaging 19 or more minutes. And out of those 8, only 2 are bigs, Poole and Oubre. What does that say about Pop and the matchup with you guys, also them going small this year?
They found something in the bubble last year, Carlos. They had some guys out. They played their young guys, and it's the first time they've really played that small, at least in my memory. And they played really well. They found great energy. Their young guys started to pop. Poole became a really good role player as a big who was diving and protecting the rim. So they found a nice blend and a nice continuity in the bubble that I think has carried over to this season. And obviously, as I mentioned, they've got really good veteran championship players to augment all of that and to blend in with all that. So it's a really fun team. I enjoy watching them play.
Coach, how do you plan on using Oubre and Wiggins over these next 2 games? Should we expect to see Oubre with a second unit again, or do you have any inclination on that?
Yeah, I'm for sure going to do that again tomorrow. We just won a game, and he played really well. Andrew played well also. So I'll continue to do that. But I don't think that's, the main thing that will determine whether we play well or not. I think the main thing is going back to those habits that I told you about, in your last question. Are we going to be engaged defensively from the start? Are we going to rebound? We're the worst rebounding team in the league still. Are we going to box out? Are we going to, put bodies on people and recognize rotations and be 5 guys on a string defensively? That's what matters, and that's what we'll be focused on.
Jordan Poole played 5 minutes last night. What have you told him about his role in the rotation?
Well, I told him yesterday I never want a player sitting for too long, and he had sat for 5 straight games, and I wanted to get him out there, so I told him he would play. I didn't know for how long, and he did a great job while he was out there. We went on a nice run while he was on the floor. He made a couple nice plays, and he didn't get in the second half, but he did his job, and that's the main lesson for a young player like Jordan. He's got to earn his minutes, and when he does get them, he's just got to be ready for them, because you never know when they're going to be there.